Well, Sydney's construction industry will pick up the tools on Saturday once again as a 2-week ban on work comes to an end. But tradies in 8 local government areas deemed high-risk COVID zones will still not be able to return to work, and sites within those LGAs will remain shut. Joining me live now is Patrick Eather, Metricon Homes New South Wales General Manager. Patrick, we spoke to you last week. You're in dialogue with the federal government, the state government quite often. You've now got this ban being lifted on Saturday. Is it workable?
Yes, it is, Laura. Firstly, if I could just say, I'd like to give a real great thank you to our industry association leaders in David Bear and Brian Seidler of HIA and MBA. They've done a lot of work in the background to get us to this point. So, from an industry point of view, we're excited about the fact that we can get started, and I'll underline that, it's get started. So the work's in front of us at the moment to get those new systems in place and work with what we got, but equally, we're also very focused on how we can get ourselves to opening up 100%. And in particular, we certainly feel for those people that are in the LGAs that are under lockdown. Is there any way that we can actually think about opening up work for those that are in those LGAs in the meantime? So, yes, we're excited about getting off the ground, and it's good for us, but it's only the start.
In those 8 LGAs, I mean, there's a lot of tradies that come out of there that live and work there. How many sites are we talking about that will remain dormant for at least another 4 weeks? Is that right?
Yes, there's quite a number. There's some very, very large estates that are on the fringe of Liverpool and Campbelltown and Blacktown. So those large estates are right on the borderline of the working areas. What we also understand is true, that there is a lot of tradies that live within that LGA and work in that LGA. And we think that's an opportunity for us to have a look at and see, is that workable? There is an opportunity there to make use of the resources that are in the LGA that could still work in the LGA on some of those estates that still remain dormant. So there's some of the things that we've got as a work in progress in the background.
Yeah, right. That sounds good. It certainly does sound workable. We're also talking about contactless tradies. There's a lot of new terms we're learning in 2021, and contactless tradies came out yesterday. Is that workable? Do residents need to be, particularly mindful of this when they're booking tradies as well?
Certainly, and I think at the context of particularly the residential building industry is that they're not densely populated with tradies on site, and so the contactless part of that is very much the way that we work anyway. So within the definition of COVID rules about one person per 4 square metres and contactless in that definition actually works alongside of how we work in our sector. So the other new rules about one tradie at a time on site, by and large, that's generally how we work anyway. So there are some fine-tuning things to make sure that that's actually in place and how we monitor that and how we measure that. But we certainly think that they're the things that we've already worked with. In terms of operating safely on site, we're already living by very, very strict regimes on occ health and safety on a building site. At different times deemed to be a dangerous site. So the sort of controls that we've had in place is pretty much there. This extra bits and pieces that we've got added on for COVID is not much extra for us to bear. And so that gives us confidence to say back to the government, and we're thankful for the government to trust us with managing our sector, but we can say to the government, we do have those regimes in place. We've got strong occ health and safety disciplines. Adding a little bit of this to that is I'm going to say not difficult, but it's not much more than what we're already doing. So, I think we will bed that down over the next couple of weeks, but we'd certainly look forward to taking the next step. And I think the next step centres around 3 major initiatives and 3 major points. One is about vaccination, which is topical across the whole state anyway. Testing regime. So we're involved in the some trials of the rapid antigen testing program. So we're comfortable that we'd be able to make a contribution in the way that that gets introduced into our industry, and hopefully very, very quickly. And the third one is something that I've already said that we already do is, let's have a really, really good, strong control regime that we can prove that everybody is where they're supposed to be on the day they're supposed to be there and behaving the way they're supposed to behave. So, look, we're confident about our move forward, but we know fully that our work hasn't stopped right now and there's plenty in front of us.
Yep. Certainly is, Patrick. Well, good luck with it. We hope you get some progress over the next couple of weeks, but it's certainly a start. Thanks so much for your time once again.
Thank you, Laura.